welcome to episode 88, part 1 of Africa's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters podcast. As usual, remember to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas as they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. I'm Jamila Duffield.
And I'm Ngara Kamuya.
So today we start off with the fact that the Kenya Sevens, or a Kenya Sevens quartet of Samuel Oliet, Dennis Ombachi, Andrew Omonde, and Nelson Oyo get called up to the training squad. The Simbas who are preparing for the repechage. Now, we're basically going to talk about what this means, you know. So, I mean, this is obviously, I think it's a good thing in the sense that to be honest, apart from like maybe Andrew Monde who's joining the forwards, we need help with our backline. We're not even going to joke about that. But the downside, I would say, of this is the fact that we've been talking about how, you know, Kenya had gotten to a point where we have separated our sevens players from our 15s players, but now we're seeing that we need our 15s players to come and beef up sevens players to come and beef up the 15s team. There's also the fact that the Dubai Sevens, HSBC series starts on, I think, the 30th of November. So, you know, how will that work?
How does that work? And also, I mean, just to add on to it, we already have William Baka, who's already in the team. There's been a lot of talk about this issue, primarily because of what you just mentioned. We had gotten to a point where we had separated the 15s and the 7s players. And there's a bit of animosity or hostility in having the 7s players involved in the 15s camp, because then what happens to the people who've worked very hard to join the Simbas? We know in Kenya, unfortunately, our best players always end up going to play for 7s as opposed to playing for the 15s team. But having said that, I do believe, and this is a conversation I had with someone way before the Gold Cup, just after Ian Snook had been appointed, and we talked about the talent in the country, and whoever I was talking to mentioned that he gets a feeling that Ian Snook actually did not know what he was dealing with. He thought he was coming to deal with the players he's seen in the 7th circuit. He didn't know that there was actually separate players who play 15s. He didn't know there was that clear line. So you come to Kenya, and the most unfortunate thing is because of the money that's invested in 7s, then from a conditioning standpoint, the 7s guys end up being better than the 15s guys. 15s is not really given so much attention. So you come and you see, okay, fine, there's talent in 15s, but I'd want to deal with these guys who are actually very good. And I think that's where Ian Snook is coming from. I just think that he did not know exactly what he was faced with. I don't think he knew the talent that he was coming to see in the country, and because of the quick results he's looking for, the style of rugby he's looking for, then he's had to go and look at the 7th side. I fully agree.
I really agree. I agree with that in the sense that obviously you want the best of the best. And because of the way the game is structured in the country, and where support is channeled, the 7s players tend to be better than the 15s players. But then the question is, what do we do if these players are, they're most likely going to be selected and represent Kenya with the Simbas. So what happens when we move on to the 7th series?
Okay, that's a very tricky question. I mean, what happens then when we move into the 7th series? If I was calling shots, I would actually tell them, look, now stick 15s. I know for a fact, I don't know about Andrew Monde, but I know for a fact now William Baka is full-time 15s. He's chasing caps. I mean, he only has 2 caps. This is somebody who's played all over the world, and he only has 2 caps for his country. Doesn't make sense. So from what I've heard, Willie is focusing now on 15s rugby, which is very good. And you only hope that these other guys who are in the 7s can shift the focus to 15s. Then maybe you pressure the decision makers to now focus on developing the game of 15s, because like we keep on saying, 15s is rugby, 7s is just entertainment, right? So it's a good move, it's a bad move, because like you say for Andrew Monde, who's going to be in the forwards, and the good thing about Andrew Monde is that from a ball carrying perspective, breakdown and defense, he's very good. So he adds that oomph into the forwards. But in the backs, we've had a really big problem throughout the Gold Cup. So you bring in William Baka is already there. You bring in Dennis Ombachi. We've had a very big problem in midfield, I feel, primarily because of selection issues. But you bring Dennis Ombachi, who's a center. He's very powerful. He's good on attack, good on defense. That's good. That's a plus.
Definitely.
You bring in Nelson Oyo. I think him is full pace on the wing.
On the wing.
He's going to be a good addition. And you bring in, for me, the person who, ever since he shifted to sevens, I always feel pain. Like, whenever
I think even he feels pain.
I think he feels
like
pain.
If there was as much money pumped into the 15s game, to be honest, I feel like Oliech would have played 15.
Samuel Oliech would be in 15. So you feel it's good, it's exciting. I remember in the 2016 Kenya Cup season, that's when Impala got to the finals, and his combination with Nate Simiyu and his intelligence, his rugby IQ, how he hit the gap, it was very entertaining. I'm a Queen supporter. I used to find myself watching Impala games more because of Samuel Oliech, and I remember that was in the back of the international season in 2015, where he played at 10 and he played at 15, and he was very good. He was very entertaining. So when he went to sevens, I felt the pain. I still feel the pain today. Any day I see Samuel Oliech, I always tell him, you need to go back to 15s. Yeah. And to see him back in the setup, I think is good. But I think about something former Simbas coach Jerome Pavata told me. Met him somewhere at night, and we started talking about rugby. And he said that most of the players in the 7th setup are actually his products. They've come from 15s. They've excelled in the game of 15s or excelled in the game of 15s, and then they've been taken to the 7th setup. And yeah, that's the truth, unfortunately, in Kenya. So it does raise questions. Some people ask, is there a lack of talent? It's a question we were talking about during the Gold Cup in terms of Uganda. Like you can't separate the 7th and the 15th players. And I do feel, honestly, with the talent that's in the 15th team, I feel that they can be able to achieve it. I just feel that Ian Snook has not taken time to look at his players and to see the talent that he has. Jerome Pavard had done a very good job in separating the two. But look, talent is talent at the end of the day. Andrew Amonde, at least for Andrew Amonde and Samuel Oliech, they're getting into a setup that they already know about. Yeah. So I think it can only be good for us. Yep.
Short term, especially because we need the results and we need them now.
Yes.
We're not going to have another chance to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in years to come.
Yes.
So we need to get there.
Yeah.
What happens there, I don't know. Yeah. But we need to qualify.
Yes.
And then after that, we'll sort it out somehow.
Yeah.
Like one of them will have to give.
Yeah.
And that's just what happens. It's a necessary evil, in my opinion.
Yes. But again, there's the issue about you think about the 2014 scenario. And there are people who've raised that issue. Same thing happened in 2014. We got into the World Cup qualifiers, you call the 7th guys, and because of that lack of gelling, cohesion, actually, that's the right word. That lack of cohesion, then we end up butchering the results. But I'd like to put a clear distinction between the two circumstances. In 2014, we had a 15th team that had been in South Africa for 2 months, playing the Vodacom Cup.
And then we involved
the 7th guys. That has not been the case this year. So that is the difference. I mean, while I do understand where people are coming from, when you think about the 2014 scenario, that is not the same. It's not the same case.
Yeah. There is also the fact that right now, they're training in 2 batches.
Yes.
The people in Western are training in Kakamega, and the people in Nairobi are training together.
Yeah.
And they're still just working in the gym. So they haven't even started ball work together yet, which is good.
Yeah.
Meaning that by the time they're doing pitch stuff on the pitch, they're all together. They're training together.
Yes.
And rugby is it's the same game.
Yes.
It's not like you're coming to learn a new science.
Yes.
So hopefully, the bit of training that they will do together, and also the matches that they'll have, in preparation, will help them with that cohesion.
Yeah, and it's good you mentioned about preparation because this talks about Kenya playing Namibia or some other European sides just before the repechage. But all in all, going back to what us guys have discussed, it's a necessary evil, like you said, and I like the fact that you said the results are needed right now, and therefore it's a necessary evil. We just have to do what we have to do right now, because what we've seen from our backline throughout the Gold Cup has not been...
It's not going to be enough.
It's not going to be.
It's definitely not going to be enough.
Yeah, it's not.
Guys, tell us what you think. Do you think we should separate 7s from 15s completely, or do you think this is something that we just need to do for now and deal with the bills much later? Let us know on social media, that is by following us on Instagram, liking our page on Facebook, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm Demi Madofio.
And I'm Nara Kamwe.
See you in part 2.